Welcome to my channel. So today's episode has to do with installing gardens when sometimes the garden is not the target to install. So I have a property that I'm working on and we're remodeling the house. And the homeowner of the house really likes flowers and um, really likes a variety of flowers, really wants her yard to look pretty. And we came through and basically nonstop for the last 7 or 8 months have just been destroying her yard. Um, whether it was tractors and trailers and trucks and equipment and digging, both the front yard and the backyard basically got turned to bare dirt. Now, this happened because the property in question was flooding inside the building, and we went back and determined that there were cracks in the building, and she was on the low spot of a hill, and she was getting 3 angles of water coming at her building at the same time. And so we went through a process of fixing her drainage, repairing her house, making sure that the cement slabs were repaired and waterproofed from water coming downhill and hitting the concrete. We put in, like I said, we put in French drains and took the roof water, which was actually very critical because all of her roof water was going to downspouts, and we redirected that to a sump pit, a pit filled with rock and gravel to absorb that water from her roof. Now, her roof is the footprint of her house, and it's a fairly large house. And because of the slope of the land, there was an erosion problem that was sinking her house. And so we corrected to the best of our ability with the available funds that issue. But in the meantime, we've destroyed her yard. And sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it's about making the client happy. And so I started working her yard. I started putting in swales, which are ditches on contour to slow and mitigate water flows, to settle water deeper into the subsoils, so that way there won't be as much erosion, and to absorb water away from that sump pit, which is being overcharged by the roof. And it's a big sump pit. I saw them dig it out. So it's not a small sump pit. They put in a large one. In the process, though, I also had to put in new plants. I had to install new plants, and I did that at no cost to the client. I did the labor for the swales at no cost to the client. I'm removing the weed species like the grasses at no cost to the client. And I'm installing new plants of a variety of natures to improve the property and make it look nicer at no cost to the client. Now, I should be able to charge for all those services and fees, all the costs. Sometimes it's just not worth it to charge the client to repair something that we've damaged. And if a regular gardener had to come in, a regular gardener would charge her a minimum of $150 a day, possibly nowadays $200 a day, to do nothing but maybe cut the weeds, rake and blow, and then come back next week and cut the weeds and rake and blow. So every week she might be getting charged another $150 to $200 because of work we did. So instead of allowing that to happen, I put in weeds mitigation strategies. I put in plants that would be good ground covers to overtake the weedy, the grass-like species, and just put a nice even cover over her yard area. Now that's going to take some time, and I'm going to be responsible for that yard until the ground cover takes over. In the meantime, I've put in some annual plants that are drought resistant for our area, that are butterfly friendly and bee friendly. So it's going to attract pollinators to your yard. There'll be birds and bees and other wildlife that are attracted to the front yard, and she likes those things. The client is not young, she's elderly. And so we want to provide her with a nice yard. We're also allowing the native species that are already existing, other than grasses, to flourish. So there's a Catalonia, which is also called miner's lettuce, which is prolific right now because it's March, and I'm letting that grow up and go to seed to respread itself, because we want Catalonia, we want miner's lettuce around. It's a good edible product, and it's very pretty. She insists on having things like nasturtium, so we found nasturtium and left them there. We didn't remove those. So she likes pretty flowers and pretty plants, and so we're installing a bunch of those. And again, sometimes it's not about charging the client. Sometimes it's just about doing the right thing. So if you're ever looking at a yard and you're wondering why it looks a little bit chaotic, it looks a little bit like there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of flowers, and there's a lot of tiny little bushes, and there's a creeping ground cover going on, and there's no grasses. You probably have a designed garden that somebody's put a lot of effort into to get rid of the weedy-like species and leave the flowers that are very pretty and the little tiny shrubs and bushes and things, and moderating the ground cover so that way there's less work. It may not be the chaotic mess that it looks like from an aesthetic point of view, where everybody trims their yards to, half an inch of grass. It may be a design system that's actually beneficial for the client to save them money. So think about it. And if you have any comments, leave them down below. And if you have any other suggestions on videos you'd like to see, leave them down below. And if you like this kind of content, just go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And if you like it even more than that, subscribe. And if you like it even more than that, share it with a friend. Have a great day.